Before we get started, I need everybody to go follow us at HypeCityShow. Where you do, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also check us every day, Monday through Friday. iHeartRadio 99.7 The Heat Miami, 5 to 7 p.m. And on Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my man, the 610 Problem. We are in the building on an undisclosed location. I'm here with my man, a good friend of mine. He dropped a dope album, an EP.
It's an album.
Okay. We gonna say album. He dropped a dope album. It's called 40. He has a dope podcast, The Wash. Let me introduce my man, Scoop, the MC.
What's good, bro?
Show. What's going on, brother?
What's good, man?
Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Let's dive into this, man. I've been waiting for this for a long time. This Project 40, man. I've been seeing the Facebook, everything, people talking about this left and right, and I was like, I thought this dude was done with rhyming. So what made you jump back in and say, you know what, I'm gonna drop this project on these people? Because, you know, as far as I know, I was like, this guy's a straight, you know, media guy now, you know what I mean? And you always put, I don't rap, but you drop these bars here and there. Yeah. What made you drop 40 on this?
Well, you're right. I mean, for the past, like, I don't know, 5-6 years, I probably, wasn't really releasing music like that.
Right.
And I was on, pushing the podcast, the Watch This podcast.
Watched it.
And I never lost my love of rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what brought me into this shit. That's what really got me. That's my biggest contribution to the culture was always like my bars. You know what I'm saying? Now what fed these bars is my knowledge of the culture and of hip hop, which is what birthed the podcast. But ultimately I was like, at some point I do want to put out an album again. I do want to rap again. It was going to happen. I just really didn't have the motivation to do it. People would be sending me beats and shit like that, and I'm just like, I could do a song. You know what I mean? I could do a freestyle, but top of this year, once I woke up and thought about the fact that I was turning 40 years old this year, I said, you know what? I'm gonna put an album out on my birthday. I'm gonna call it 40. And that really was the beginning of it. It was just like, I'm gonna put out an album, I'm gonna call it 40. I'm not gonna do no promo before it drop. I ain't gonna do none of that shit. I'm just gonna put it out for the people that fuck with me and let it fly. And it kind of grew its own wings and way bigger response than I could have ever anticipated.
Now, when you seen the response of your peers, how did that feel to you?
The word I've been using is I'm overjoyed. I don't want to say overwhelmed, because overwhelmed has like a negative connotation to it, but overjoyed. I didn't really, expect much out of it. I just thought that people that fuck with me was gonna fuck with it. Hold on, I can cuss.
You're good.
But yeah, man, the people sending me my lyrics and typing out all these like long think pieces about what this verse meant to them. People hitting me up saying they was crying when they listened to this certain song, and I didn't expect none of that, And that is what kind of made me like open my mind to like want to do more with it, like perform and maybe put together like a big show, surrounding it. Because again, I was gonna just put it out, go back do my podcast, and just keep it pushing that way. But now that the album has that type of effect, I'm like, all right, this is a piece of art that deserves more than what I was initially planning on giving it.
Right. How does 40 differ from your previous work?
I'm 40 now.
Right. So you had like a different mind state now?
You know what? I think so. I think we all should as we get older, you know what I'm saying, as we have different experiences. The thing that differs between 40 and any other project I've ever done in my life is that I envisioned it from the beginning and saw it through to completion, as opposed to like making a bunch of songs and then saying, okay, how does this fit? Can I turn this into a project? Like, no, like when I recorded the first song for 40, I knew that it was for this album, and then not to go on a tangent, but I was going to originally make the album cover this is the album cover for 40,
right? So 40
I was going to originally make it a black cover with the number 40 in the middle, like on some Black Album shit, like black cover, the number 40 in the middle, and that's it, right? And a friend of mine said, yo, on the cover to the album for 40, you should be drinking a 40. Because you know, and when they said that to me, I was like, my initial response was, well, I ain't never drunk a 40 before. And as soon as I said those words, it just, everything became clear. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a song where I say I never drunk a 40.
Right.
I'm gonna put a 40 on the cover. I'm gonna do it on the block where I'm from, David Street. Like, this is like where I was born, like, you know. So having that vision ahead of time, you know, 5-6 months ahead of time and being able to see it through to completion, I think that is what made the project feel richer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I didn't know that was gonna happen, but I think that was the result of that.
What song on this project holds a special place in your heart? Like, what song you say, man, I really, I love this song that you know, we all have our favorites that we do on these projects, you know. But
that's a tough question. That's a tough question, but I mean, because when it comes to my rapidy rap shit, because I'm a rapidy rapper, right? I love punchlines. I love, you know, just rhyme schemes and things, technical rap shit. You know, one of my, you know, I grew up listening to a lot of Eminem, you know what I mean,
Okay.
shit like that. So, on that level, Struggle is like the one that I gravitate towards the most. Is track 3, but from a content feeling standpoint, I would say 1983, which is the outro to the album, is probably my favorite because that was literally the last thing that I did when I was recording it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to be the outro. I told a lot of like my story on there,
right.
and yeah, I think and that's the song that people say makes them cry and all this kind of stuff. Which I think
it's more touching to people. People really feel that one.
Yeah,
It's
because
more deep.
Because artists, I'm not gonna name any artists, but there's artists that called me when an album dropped and was like, yo, the things you said on 1983, like that shit resonated with me because, you know, I'm not quite 40, maybe I'm 36.
Right,
and I'm
right.
looking at things a little different now because I got kids or I got this. And I'm like, damn, this nigga Scoop, you know, is faced with these same things, but he's able to put together this body of work, which is incredible, or whatever word they use to describe it, right? And then it motivates them to say, damn, I can still do this shit, you know? And those phone calls and texts and emails and, you know, DMs and shit, I'm like, yo, I was doing this from my heart, but you don't think about how many people relate to your situation,
Yeah,
when you're doing shit, so yeah.
Now, you know, Jersey, they have like a unique sound kind of, I guess. We have a lot of different sounds. Do you think like the sound and the vibe of 40 is a Jersey sound?
No, I wouldn't say that.
No?
I wouldn't say it's a Jersey sound. I'm just a big hip hop fan, man. Like, I'm a big boom bap rapper. Honestly, I think if you were to compare it to a region, and I never thought about this, but I would think it would be more like a late 90s, early 2000 New York.
Right. I
I would
was
say that.
When I listen to the project, some of the joints, you know, I know you're a fan of Griselda, they kind of remind me of some of them joints also.
Yeah, so that, big Griselda fan. I mean, you know, we've been
Right,
to
right.
shows, we've had shows and shit.
Where's your mom from Philly?
Huh?
Is your mom from Philly?
Yeah.
Hey, or a lot of your family's from Philly too?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
well, we ain't got nothing to do with that, but the Griselda shit, being a big Griselda fan, like a lot of their music, especially the Derringer production,
Right.
where they was rapping over like no drums,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, just melodies and shit like that. I've done that in the past, which is funny. I've done that like before I even knew about Griselda. I got a song from 2012 called Standard, Mikey the Fly producer, shout out to Mikey. And I remember like being at his crib, he was making the beat, and he had a sample that he reversed and looped it, and he was like, yo, I just gotta figure out the drums. And I remember I was listening to the shit, and I was like, I was actually doing push-ups. I was over there in the studio, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm doing push-ups and shit, listening to this shit. I was like, yo, don't put no drums on this shit. I'm gonna rap over that shit just like how it is. And it became like a big record for me back then, like when it came to performing the shit. And then, so then Griselda came after that, and Rock Marciano and like people from upstate,
Right.
they was doing these records where they was rapping over like no drums. So when I came up with the concept of 40, and I never drunk a 40 before, I did reach out to Mikey and say like, yo, give me a joint with no drums I could rap on. So definitely Griselda influence, but you know, it's always been my shit.
Right.
That kind of
Now, most of the records on was produced by? Mikey?
Nah,
Or is it
Mikey.
different producers on the joint?
So I want to shout out all the producers. So Mikey did 2 joints. Mikey
Okay.
McFly did 2 joints. Sleepy Keys did 2 joints. It's only 8 joints on the album. So
Right.
Mikey did 2. Sleepy Keys did 2. Siggy 808er did 1.
Shout out to Siggy.
Yeah, my nigga Siggy. He was with me last time.
Right.
And Be Silent. Be Silent did 3 joints on there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
cool.
Jersey, right?
Yeah, all Jersey.
Word.
Yeah, and those are like the producers I've worked with throughout my whole career, pretty much. You feel me? I've done mad shit with all of the people I just named. I've done Be Silent. We had a band called Smash and Grab. He played guitar in the band, and like that was some shit I did like back in like '09 through like 12. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel comfortable. So it's like, yeah, I'm comfortable.
Those
with
are my niggas. You feel me? Like I reach out to them like, yo, send me beats, and they send me beats anyway.
Right.
They send me beats if I'm not rapping. Like they
Just
literally send me
to give
joints.
you-
Yeah, like yo, Scoop, I'm doing a project. I want you to rap on this beat. You know, send me the joint, and I'll never rap on it.
So you got this. What's next with this album? Are you gonna? Is it like gonna be a little promo tour? You gonna do some more shows? I know you're doing the shows at the brewery over here. You know, you did a couple. You know, you've been doing some shows over there.
Yeah, well, I performed at a 1 joint. So the Spellbound Brewery, shout out to the Spellbound, shout out to G Willikers, all the people involved with that movement. They booked us to like host it. So the podcast, we go there, we host the events there, and usually I don't rap, but
Right.
because I dropped the album, I did a set. I am gonna perform there again on September 30th as a part of Piranha Fest. Shout out to Piranha School, my man Dre Artist.
Okay. Shout out Dre Artist.
Yeah, PS, man, that's my niggas. But as far as like, I'm thinking about putting together like an actual 40 show. Like an actual 40, like I want to have live instrumentation. I want to have singers and background singers. Like when that 40 intro, I want them to instead of the sample playing, I want some girls that are singing that shit.
Yeah.
While I'm rapping over it, and somebody hitting that hi hat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I want that feel. So I'm trying to put that together. Let me just not say trying. I am putting that together.
There you go.
It's just some parts of that equation that have not been solved yet. So once we figure out exactly when and how to do that, that's what I want to do. Outside of that, I don't really know, man. Like I said, this project, I was just putting it out just to put it out, but people fuck with it.
Right.
They really fuck with it.
Yo.
Which is why I'm here. Like,
Right.
you hit me up, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we cool and all that.
Yeah.
But based on the fact that I dropped this project, it's like I'm getting more calls.
Because like when you dropped it, like I said before when we were off camera, I said, man, this is crazy. I thought dude was done rhyming. And then when I'm listening to it, I'm like, this joint tough. Like, why he don't do this full time? Why you don't do this full time, bro? What is stopping you from saying, I'm just gonna be this MC full time and really burn down these records?
Because I'm 40 and I need to have a full-time job. I have a mortgage. I have a mortgage and I have kids.
But still,
But-
you still, I mean, there's ways to
Yeah.
do it still when you have a family and things like that.
Definitely, and this has opened my mind to that.
Right.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it G. Like, I'm nice. You feel me? Like, there's not way too many people that
Talk
fucking
your shit,
with,
bro.
with the rap shit. You feel me? And I didn't do that for
Right.
a long time. I had some doubts as far as like projects. 'Cause I never really had that project that people really gravitated to. They like my verses and my bars and my features and shit, but like an actual project. Now that I've done that, I'm like, okay, I can do this. But at the same time, man, it's a weird time with rap, man. It's a very weird time with like
Definitely
motherfuckers
is.
having all these shows. Like I can't. Everybody wants me to perform everywhere now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, right? And I'm like, if I perform everywhere, then my performance is no longer special.
Right, it's gonna kind of
Because I'm everywhere. You feel me? It's like
I've seen it a thousand
yeah,
times.
it's like
I've
oh,
seen
scoop this
it.
here, scoop this here again.
We've
Like,
seen
nah.
this already.
So I gotta kind of leverage like my love for this shit with making things special enough for people to want to go and be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which I think the album, part of the reason why it works so well is because I'm not a rapper. You feel me? I've been saying I'm not a rapper for so long, so when I
Right.
did rap, it made everybody want to fucking listen. And it's because of the internet, the short attention span of people nowadays, myself included. I'm guilty of this
Right.
too. But it's, we can go in our pocket right now and listen to anything.
Anything.
You know what I'm saying? Before it was, okay, I had to wait to go to the store. Me and my niggas over here, we didn't have enough money to buy every album that came out, every week. So I would buy one, he would buy the other one, he would buy the next. We would trade them off, you feel me? But we would still be like in love with this music, and we would live with it for, weeks or months on end. Now it's like, listen to an album for fucking 3-4 days, and it's like, what's the next one?
And then you got your favorite record off that, and you keep it pushing.
Yeah,
so music comes so fast right now. Like every day, I tell.
Pause. You said it comes fast. I'm just saying. But I do know what you meant.
No, not being pause.
Yeah.
Why you
but that's why I made my album eight tracks too. I only made it 8 tracks instead of doing so many songs. I got other songs that I didn't put on there. You feel me? Like I got other records, but yeah. So I really wanted to keep it concise so that it doesn't just get old. Right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's like, all right, boom, we can rock with these joints, or or songs don't get like lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't want that. So
I feel you. Let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Man, you got this podcast.
I do.
It's a dope podcast, man. You're really moving.
Thank you.
I seen it from the beginning till now.
Yes.
I'm glad you stuck with it because a lot of people, they don't stick with these things. They they fizzle out and it just goes away. But I'm glad you stuck with it. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? How's that, bro?
Yeah, it's easy to not stick with something. You know what I'm saying? That's the easy route, right? Love it, man. The podcast is doing great, man. Shout out, watch this podcast, man. Shout out to my team, man. Dre Artist, Truth, Soul, the Don Dada. You know what I'm saying? My man G's, you know what I'm saying? Production manager. Like you said, you've seen it from the beginning. We've been through all types of phases and
different members, things like that.
Yes, for sure. I started to watch this podcast because I wasn't rapping, and it was a play on being washed up. You feel me? It's
okay.
If you say I'm washed up, I'm gonna say wash this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which sounds like watch this, and it's just this whole play on words. And the idea was, when I stopped rapping, I still was engineering. I still was in the studio a lot, working with like younger artists, and we'd have conversations in these sessions. And a lot of times these conversations would be me trying to get them gems to try to, help them to not have to make some of the mistakes that I made in my career, to try to help them, get that boost that I didn't have. And a lot of times I would have these conversations and I would think to myself, like, this is some good shit. Like, this is some shit that could be, this is some content, exactly. And at the same time, I'm starting to listen to podcasts more, hip-hop podcasts. So I wanted to kind of bridge the gap between like the younger artists and like the older generation, to say like we're all the same. We're just from different generations, just because I may not be necessarily hip to the shit that you are doesn't mean that I gotta say that shit's corny or it's whack, and the same with you. You go, oh, this old shit is whack. We're all part of this hip hop culture. So that was kind of the thought, was just to bridge that gap. I've gotten into a lot of arguments online because of my content.
Yeah, podcasting, that's what it does, because, now you're speaking your mind on things and people don't like, your take on things, so now they're voicing their
Tupac niggas trying to kill me. The Tupac niggas on YouTube, they tried to kill me. And I ain't even dissing. I ain't diss Tupac. I love Tupac. Right. But I was just like talking about some shit that T-Pain had said, and then
you just saying what's going on, and they jumping on you.
My comments went crazy for that one. That's my most viewed video actually.
But that's good though.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what you want. That's what the
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at you. But
that's what that's what sometimes you do. We do these things for, because you want to get that little, people be like, oh shit, damn, he said that about me. No, hold on, let me hear that.
Yeah.
Because that can take this shit to the next level too sometimes.
Those conversations are so real and so rich. Like, I just feel like at the moment that somebody catches on to the existence of that podcast, they can go back and listen to and watch so much content, It's still tricky, because of the attention span. My episodes are like an hour and a half, right? So I kind of live off of the reels and the clips and things like that, the short form content. But I think the episodes though, see, once somebody, because there's certain shit that I watch the whole shit because I'm already invested, you know?
Right.
So it's like, the more people I get to be like that, you know, the more successful we'll be.
So after you've done, doing the pod for that day, and do you listen to it? Do you watch it? Or do you watch old episodes also?
I don't
It's like a thing with me, like,
You go back.
sometimes I go back but I'm really like, damn, I've been doing it for a minute. So I listen to some, and then some I just never even listen to after I'm done. Like, do you listen to some of these old episodes from 2-3 years ago?
Occasionally, I mean, not a lot. I mean, I definitely listen to the newest one because
Right.
I edit the newest one.
Okay. So you edit all the shows, man.
Yeah, I edit them. I mean, cat's out the bag, but
You're
I edit the episodes. So I'm chopping up clips. I'm always in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But sometimes, once that's done, I'm on to the next. We do it every week. We have an episode every week. We got 168 episodes. So. But occasionally I'll do something. I'll go for a ride and be like, let me just go on Spotify and just do like roulette or some shit, like stop it and then press play on the episode, just listen to it. You know, I haven't done that in a minute, but now that you have mentioned it, I'm gonna do that tonight because I got some good shit, man. Like some good guests, and there's just some good topics. And then it's also funny when you go back. When you got a platform like mine where it's like, I mean, ours is similar, where we're talking about what's happening right now.
Right.
It's interesting to see how much the game has changed. You feel we could be talking about a new artist, you know what I'm saying, and then like right now they could be like a huge artist, or they could be not even talked about right now.
Yeah, there's records I played on the show of before, like for example Griselda. I played records way long ago before they were ever known to the world like they are now. And when I go back to these old episodes, I'll be like, damn, I was playing that joint. And I'll be like, damn, that, I was kind of ahead of the curve, but some people call it.
I was the first Griselda fan that I knew personally. I did like the first Griselda show that I went to. I went Dolly. Like,
where was that at?
Voltage.
Okay.
Voltage, and it was West Con.
Yeah, I remember that.
You was there?
I put up the footage the other day when they shit was packed.
Yeah, it was super packed, and Westside, he dropped his grill. His grill fell out of his mouth, and he rinsed it off with champagne, and was like, "My shit off with champagne."
That's when West. At that time, West was kind of bigger than them at the time.
Definitely bigger than Benny. Because Benny was like the third wheel at that point, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was West and Con. Because West was, I mean, in my opinion, West is still bigger than all of them, but I mean, in a different way. Not as like an artist, but as like a figure.
In hip hop.
Yeah, in hip hop, exactly. No disrespect to anybody in the squad, but West is that one. But Conway was the rapper. Like, West was pushing Conway, and then Benny's like, okay, that's their cousin, and he nice, but he's still rough around the edge. They trying to get his shit together. Like, they would do ciphers on the radio and shit. I remember there's one, I think it was Static Selector,
right? And
Conway bombing, he going, and then Benny get a shot. He go for like 12, 16 bars or whatever, and he fumbled. Like, because he wasn't there yet.
Right.
Now Benny's a boss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just dope to see the evolution. But yeah, that's an example.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of
that's a great example because most of us watch them come from this point to that point. So
yeah, Griselda's a good example for me, and before that it would have been Tyler. Tyler was another one who I watched from the very beginning and knew he was special, and then now he's like selling out arenas and
you never know. Tell us about maybe a guest that you had on where you're like, man, I'll never forget this show, or I'll never forget this guest. We all had them. I know you had one. You're like, what the hell is going on right now?
I mean, I interviewed Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. It was virtual. So yeah, when I interviewed Crazy Bone, like we talk about how you get the list of questions, and shit. Like it was real. Like I look back at it. I mean, it's memorable for a few reasons because one is I was excited to interview Crazy Bone, but the second part is that I felt like I really just stuck to this list of questions and I really didn't give it much of my own personality, my own flavor. So I'm like, damn, I wish I would have did things a little bit differently, but. It was one of the first shows I did like that, like a virtual, interview. And it's Crazy Bone. you know, I'm 40 years old, so think about it. Like there was a time where like Bone Thugs
was very popular.
the biggest group in hip hop. You feel me? And we all used to try to write down their lyrics and rap that shit fast and shit. Yeah, so that was major. Tracy Lee.
Okay.
Another that was a
Philly
call
legend
in.
right there.
Yeah, Philly legend. That was a call in. He called into the show. I was a big fan of his. Tracy Lee. All right. Shout out to Tracy Lee, because I'm probably gonna use this clip or something. He's good. He's a good nigga.
Right. He's like a lawyer now or something like that.
He is lawyer.
Yeah,
He is lawyer. So he actually followed me randomly on the gram.
Okay.
Like I'm like, Tracy Lee followed me, and I was a big fan of his album. See, the thing is, a lot of people may know like the singles. They know he did a record with Biggie,
Right.
you know, shit like that. But I had his first album, Many Faces, and bumped that shit like.
You was
Really into
real
that.
fan of that.
Yes, really into it. So when he followed me, I was like, yo, I DM'd. I was in DC, and I was in DC. I was like in my hotel room, I'm like, yo, Tracy Lee, DM, yo, I got a podcast. I'd love to have you on.
Right.
And we started talking about him actually coming on the show, and it hasn't come to fruition. Still, we still may happen because we do talk about it still. Because like me and him, like we still be texting. But he, I then started the segment on the show where I would like call celebrities from the show. Like we were like bullshit. We started talking like yeah, man, remember Iggy Azalea? I'm gonna try to call her. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram. And of course they never answered, right? But Tracy Lee, I knew I had his number, so I called him and he answered, you know, and we got, you know, an interview, and he actually let us premiere his new song, which was Party Time XXV, because it was the 25th anniversary of that record.
Right.
And
Great record.
Yeah, Party Time. So we premiered that in the joint. And so that was major. Babs from Making the Band, she also called into the show. That was a big John. Pause. And Roscoe P. Coltrane came on the show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. He real
That's
nice.
some joints, man. Roscoe P.
Yeah, so you know, honestly, the thing that differentiates me or watch this from a lot of other hip hop platforms is that we're not necessarily interview based. You feel what I'm saying? Like we have a show whether we have a guest or not.
Right. These guests that you bring onto the show, is it like how you say you call in, but the guests that are local, I know you had like Bars Murray and you had Cell Block on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to all them.
Are they like, hey, you go talk to the team? Is that something you handle, or how is that handled?
It's different ways. You know, sometimes like one of my, co-hosts, will hit me up and be like, yo, so-and-so want to be on the pod. Like, let's look at the calendar and figure out. I would say most of them probably come from me if I look at the numbers, but it's a team effort. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're not letting any just.
Oh no, hell no, hell no. Nah, we gotta make sure because I'm many things.
Right.
But one thing I'm not is fake, yo.
Right.
I'm not about to fake with somebody because it's not to be genuine. I want to actually listen to your music and have something to talk to you about. Kind of how would you? You know what I mean? I'm not always in this seat. You feel? I mean in your seat. You know what I'm saying? So like I make sure I know some shit about them, about what they're doing, and I actually care about it to some degree. So yeah, shout out to Bars Murray, Cell Block. Who else we had? We had Stevie Franks came on the show.
Shout out to Stevie Franks.
I don't want to, because I'll forget people, but shout out to
everybody that came through.
Yes, and who's going to come in the future? Pause. Comments crazy. I like that.
So use the word arrive.
Yeah, arrive in the future.
Yeah, but you ever had a John? He was like, yo, I'm about to arrive.
No.
All right, we're
Now you have changed groups of people over the years. From when you started till now. Are you still like cool with those people, and why the change?
No, I haven't.
Oh, no. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, definitely still cool with everybody that's ever been on the podcast.
Right.
People have their own life goals and things that they want to spend their time doing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's never been a situation where it was like, we got beef, so now you're no longer on the show. I've never kicked anybody off the show, never, not once. So yeah, I still got love. So like for example, so I mean we have 168 now, but when we did episode 100, I invited the original hosts to still, you know what I mean, to still come through. And they thought I was inviting them just to watch. But in the middle of filming the show, I said, yo, can y'all come up here and, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and the whole cast.
Yeah, I think that was dope, you know. And I'm into that. Like, you know, maybe episode 200, because now it's been even more changes since then. So, you know, I'll bring everybody in. I mean, everybody matters. Everything matters. So it's all part of the story.
How did the new cast members get selected, or, you know?
Man, it's very, everybody has a story, man. Damn. like it's not even like, I mean, it's really just as simple as like, all right, sometimes Soul, who's on the podcast, shout out to Soul. She was a guest on the pod once or twice. I think I might have called her like fill in a couple of times too.
Right.
Like she was a guest, as in like she had nothing to do with it, but I brought her on just to like, you know, because she had her own podcast and I was a guest on her podcast.
Right.
So we were swapping. You feel me? I was on her podcast. And
Cross promo kind of thing.
Exactly. And she pulled up and I didn't even realize like how deep her like hip hop knowledge was until we had her on the pod. So then from there it was like if somebody couldn't show up, I might hit Soul like, yo, can you know what I mean? And then eventually, you know, somebody left and I was like, yo, Soul, you know, the spot, and she wasn't doing her show no more. So that was it. And then like Truth was a good friend of Mikey.
Okay.
And Mikey invited Truth to pull up. But yeah, it'd be so random, man. Sometimes it's like, yo, so-and-so said they can't make it. And then, you know, so many people that I notice in my circle, whether it be like my immediate circle or extended circle, are into the shit that we talk about in the pod.
Right.
You know, and I feel like I'm a pretty damn good point guard. I'm a pretty damn good quarterback. Like you know, if I get somebody up there that actually has interest in hip hop and hip hop culture, we could probably do the podcast together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like as long as you have some type of knowledge, because I'm gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Right.
It's my thing.
You just need them other pieces to do their part.
For sure. And now again, the people that, because sometimes it takes some time for everybody to get comfortable
With each other.
Well, with each other or just within the platform, right?
Right.
So the first time they might do it, they might, for the first time they might do it, they might not be as comfortable in the space, but as time progresses, they'll bring more to it. You know what I'm saying? Like at first they might just be filling in a seat.
Okay.
And they're letting me drive, and they're going to just answer the question and speak when spoken to type shit, right? And then eventually though, as they start to feel like how this shit's going, they'll come and they'll say, "But Scoop, how about this?" Or you know, and next thing you know, the dynamic is created. So I'm not gonna say like it's just like all the time like that, but yeah, like at first people will just come through and kind of just watch a little bit and kind of get in where they fit in. But then once they find their comfortable space, they thrive. They thrive. So shout out to my nigga. Shout out to my nigga Truth. Shout out to my nigga Dre Artist. Shout out to Soul the motherfucking Don Dada. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Watch this.
Now, this question is for a media guy. You know.
Shout out to you. No, shout out to my nigga Jersey Bliss for fucking telling me what a media pass is.
Nah, bro.
For telling me like, yo, Scoop, you media now. If you want to go to any of these shows, get you a motherfucking media pass, and then you can do whatever you want. I just want to shout you out for that.
Nah, you know, I just try to give, you know, the shit that people told me or helped me. I say, let me pass it on to somebody I know that is actually working.
That's all.
It won't be in here doing the, you know, some crazy stuff.
Exactly.
But you know, I always like to ask this question to other media people when I'm talking or I'm in these places. How do you feel about music right now and about the artists in your area? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's a two-part question. Right? You said how I feel about music.
Just whack.
And it's like artists in my area. Nah, I don't feel like it's whack at all. I actually, because I be like delightfully surprised, man. Like, all right, so music in general is art, man. it's subjective. So there's shit out there that's for me, there's shit out there that's not for me, right? But I have enough artists out that I can listen to on a big scale. Like I'm not talking about locally, I'm just saying like in general, there's enough artists, we done talked about some of them, you feel me?
Right,
Yeah. That keep me fed, so I'm cool, you feel me? Like there's some shit out there that's not necessarily for me, but there's enough out there for me that I'm cool with. But on the local side, right, I've been real like, I be like kind of jaded sometimes where like I see an artist that's like younger, like in their like, you know, early 20s or whatever, and then we go to these showcases or whatever and they'll perform, and I'll automatically assume that they're going to come with a certain type of style that's not for me.
Right.
And then they go up there busting.
Right.
And then they go up there spitting. I'm like, bro.
You didn't think that was gonna
I'm like,
happen.
who put you on? They be like, yeah, my dad.
Right.
And, you know, niggas be like 21, their dad is my age.
Right.
I'm saying everybody not
So
40.
you know when somebody's like, yo, somebody's older than put you on to some.
Because niggas up there, their references are about like Nas and this,
Right.
and like Ric Flair, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
shit that you would have to be, you know,
I was
for
in
those
the
times.
studio the other night, man, and some nigga said he was 21, and he was spitting, and he was rapping, and all his homeboys was oohing and ahhing at his punchlines, and I was like, y'all niggas don't know nothing about what he's talking about. I word up, I told them niggas, because they was like, I could tell in their face, they were just like, ugh. I'm like, nigga, you don't even know, niggas, damn, I wish I knew from one of his lines, but I forget his name too, but he was nice. And then this other dude's not local, but Captain Brick, he was a guest on the podcast recently.
Okay.
He was at the joint.
Right.
The Fuego Bay show.
Fuego Bay show.
Yeah.
I knew I'd seen him before.
He was at the Fuego Bay show, and he got a song with bass too, but he
Okay.
pulled up to the pod, and his birthday, I think his birthday's today, and he just turned like 24 or something. You listen to his album, it's like,
I think
he's barring. Yes, he's barring shit up. It's boom bap. I think his like Instagram bio is like, you know, bearded nigga rapping over dirty drums or some shit like that. You feel me? Like he's all about that shit. So I say that to say like I'll be happy. Like I be seeing shit because you know it's easy to be like, oh, yo, all the new shit is trash. Everybody shaking their hips and doing like that shit exists too. But there are some people out there that's actually of the cloth that we're cut from, and that gives me hope for the future.
But being 40, you know, like most people, it's a lot of older, you know, people our age 40 and up, and they always be like, this dancing shit, and I'd be like, we was dancing too. Maybe we wasn't doing this, niggas was doing dance, they had, you know, background dancers.
I was the heel toe champ back in the day, nigga. Don't fuck with me, nigga.
Right, but a lot of people, that's what they did, dance.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, the most younger people, I said, yo, we used to have dance shows on TV. I said, they don't do that no more, but I said, that was a big thing. So I said, dancing has always been around this kind of, you know.
Man, people get old and they just get corny, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately for niggas like me and you, we not, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers get old and corny. Like, we are open-minded enough to understand that it's not always, you know, oh, it's new, so it's whack.
Right.
It can be different. And you know I use the word for me.
Right.
Sometimes
Everything ain't for everybody.
but I will give it a shot. I'm gonna listen to it and I'll be like if I look at my timeline, I see everybody talking about so-and-so album coming out and I have no idea who this person is. I'm gonna go listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it and I might listen to it and be like, all right, I normally wouldn't fuck with this, but let me hear it. I'll be like, oh, I see why they like it.
Right.
It still ain't really for me, but I see why they like it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really be my thought process when it comes to the new music, man. Like, stop. Yo, when I was a kid, my parents, you feel me, they wasn't into the shit I was listening to. They was looking at me like,
turn this shit
these
on.
niggas is cussing and killing and, you know, slanging rock and this and that. You feel me? Like, that's what they on. Like, why are you listening to this? And I'm like, nah, this that shit, you know?
Right.
So for me to be a parent and look at kids and be like, oh, you know, they popping perks and whatever they doing, I'm not into that shit. But
Right.
but it's still, it doesn't take away from the art of the music. I mean, I pray for their health. But I'm just saying, as far as, but then again, you know, you selling drugs and committing crimes, that's a health risk as well.
Right. Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's really no different, man. Nothing new under the sun.
What's next for Scoop? You got all these ventures, you got the album, you got the great podcast. What's next, man?
Carter and Evan, man. That's who's next. Man.
Okay.
My kids, man.
Shout out to your sons.
Yeah, I'm just focusing on whatever I can do. I mean, again, I'm still living my life. I mean, their life is valuable. My life is valuable. I mean, I don't know what I want to do creatively. I'm going to keep rapping.
Is there going to be a 40 part 2?
Yeah, 41.
Yeah, like a 41. Is
Yeah.
we going to get like an album every birthday? Like, are we going to get that?
Niggas been asking me for 41. Like, I'm saying,
You know, like I'm 42. I was about to drop like some shit, like on some Jackie Robinson shit. You know what I mean?
You should.
You feel me?
yo, you. I mean, I've never heard you rap. You rap, don't you? You have. I know it. There's no way that you are of the culture the way that you are and have never.
But you know, I always say when I put these things out online, I always say I just want one of these young dudes to say, man, and I'll be like, I got you.
You gonna go at him?
Right. I stay sharp.
Yeah.
I just don't, it just ain't, I understand the game and I know how it is, so I just be like, I'm leaving this shit alone because it's really gonna make me put my hands on people. So let me just do this radio and be a guy in the back and chill. And y'all can figure that part out and be mad at everybody, and I'll leave it like that.
If you're the guy in the back, who's in the front? Because I just want to make sure that it's a chick. Because if it's not,
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I am gonna keep rapping. I mean, I think I got it. I'm nice. These niggas can't fuck with me. Respectfully and disrespectfully, however you want to take it. But I don't know about album. I don't know, man. Like I still got beats.
Singles.
I still got beats. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it has to be special. If I'm going to do it, it has to be special. It has to be something. It can't just be okay. This is just another whatever.
Right.
It got to be special. So if I get an opportunity to do something bigger, then maybe that's what it's going to be. Or if enough time goes by that people stop listening to 40, then maybe, I was thinking about maybe a deluxe version. I don't know.
Any features you have for features? Have people? I know people probably hit you. A million people hit you for features. I already know that. Like, yo, jump on my project now. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I got a lot of that going on. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, man. But it just gotta make sense, man. Like I want to make the best songs that we can make.
Right.
I'm not here just trying to like out rap niggas on these songs. I mean, unless you're that kind of rapper. If there's someone who's like me and we can spar. Like we can spar. But some of these niggas they don't got that. Right. And it's like, all right, so do I dumb down my style in order to like, appease the record? Because I'm not just trying to like use your record as a platform to be nicer than you.
Right. You're not. I'm not trying to snatch your fans.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do a great.
Because it turns into not a good song.
Right. Because they just gonna be like, why you do that to people?
Skipping over verses and shit like that.
Like, we don't want to hear his part. We want to hear your part.
So if we can go to the studio, listen to some beats, come up with some concepts, figure out what we're gonna do. But yeah, I'm here for features, man. I'm here to rap. There's quite a few people that I would like to rap with. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout Don Michael, man. Like Don Michael, he cuts me out in my comments and shit. Like, oh, you told me you don't rap for that long, and then you put on an album. Where's my feature? I'm like, well, nigga.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I would definitely rap with him. There's a few people, that's nice that I think are, would make me like I'll be like a little like energized, like
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I gotta bring my head.
Yeah, because it ain't a lot of them, but there's a few of them out there for sure.
What's a dream feature?
Dream.
Who makes the beat and who's on it?
Wow. That's a great question. As a 40-year-old, I would say that the production, if I can get a primo, I would still in 2023 be very excited to get a primo, and on that record,
NBA YoungBoy.
on that record, I'll say Conway. Yeah.
Primo joint?
Primo with me, Conway, and Benny.
Okay.
And Westside on there just
a whole Griselda.
Yeah, the whole Griselda, but Westside, he don't gotta rap if he don't want to. If he wants
to talk.
If he want to rap, he can. But if he don't want to, he can just talk at the end like, y'all niggas ain't fucking with me, man.
We gonna try to make that happen.
Fuck y'all niggas, man.
We gonna try to make that happen. Shout out to Drum Unique. If you see this, we gotta make this happen.
That's
All right,
good.
Unique. If you see this, we We gotta make this happen.
I don't know who you are, but I believe my man.
You know who he is. When I'm gonna tell you who he is.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe in you, and I believe you.
You've been the sound boy, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you've been the sound boy.
What sound boy? No.
We're up PA with Red City, with Red Mix, or Red City, Red McFly.
I've been with Red McFly.
You never been in the studio?
Nah.
Alright, so Unique, shout out to Unique. Unique is an A&R for drum work, and he works at Soundboy.
Shout out to Red. Shout out to Red McFly, because that's my man too.
McFly be coming through.
Yo, shout out to Red. Shout out to Red. Red's been on the podcast twice.
Right.
And I also, shout out to Red. That's my nigga. Yeah.
Right. Now, I have this hypothetical for you, man. You know, I get a little weird with
Hype
this.
City, hypothetical.
Right, there you go.
Hypothetical.
I always, you know, the last time I asked you if the world ended and, you know, you go to this record store, 3 albums you'll pick. But we gonna switch it up, though.
Oh, damn. Sorry, thinking. Go ahead.
But you can answer that one, too. But this one, since you said Tupac, this kind of jumped in my head. So say Tupac and Biggie never had no beef and made an album. How do you think it would sound? Would you think it would sound? Would it be like Death Row Pac? Would it be East Coast? Because now we're 40, so we kind of heard all this.
Yeah. I think they could have made some good music together. I think it would be dark. You know what I'm saying? It would be like Suicidal Thoughts big, like Warning big, Niggas Bleed big, and like Bomb First Pac. I'm trying to think of the songs. Ambitions is the ride of Pac. It would be like that type of like you know what I mean? It wouldn't be no commercial shit.
Would be no party records?
I don't think they would make party records together. Nah, I think it would be more like the dark, you know, hard records. No I Get Around, no Juicy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would just be, because they would be sparring. Even if they weren't beefing, they would be on the track trying to spar.
So you think it would be a straight spar match? If it had 16 joints, all 16 be a spar?
Yeah. I mean, you know, if we talk about like fucking 1994, 95, they would make them probably make a commercial or a dance record.
Right, because that was, you know.
Yeah, but you know, the labels.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's a different time now, right? Now we're in the time of like independent records and people doing what they want to do.
Right.
If it was just them making a record because they wanted to do it, it wouldn't be no commercial shit on there.
Right.
But if they had, you know, Diddy involved and, you know, Suge or whatever, however he was doing it, Jimmy Iovine, you know what I'm saying? I think it would be, okay, we need a radio hit. And then they would do that. That would be pretty dope though.
And my other question, like I asked you first, the world, you know, it's going to, you know what, man, how it is now, everything's wild. But there's a record store downtown Mount Holly about to open for, you know, a couple hours. Scoop, come through. You seen the pod. We want you to grab a couple albums. But we gonna closing this shit down. I don't know when we ever gonna open up again. And you can grab any 3 albums to rock out for a little bit. Which 3 albums are you gonna grab?
3 albums. I would say the Black Album.
The Black Album?
The Black Album by Jay-Z. The Black Album by Jay-Z. Oh, fuck. Slim Shady LP.
You a real live Eminem fan?
I mean, I am. He's not, you know. Albums. There's no mixtapes, just albums.
Hey man, mixtapes is,
alright,
you know,
alright.
We got mixtapes in the cut over there.
Alright. We got
Mixtapes.
mixtapes.
Flesh.
Yeah, we got mixtapes in the cut.
DMX.
Nah, I mean, I love DMX, but I would have to pick a Wayne joint. I would say like No Ceilings. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait. No Ceilings. Nah.
It's only 3 now.
I know. Not No Ceilings. I'm taking No Ceilings out.
Capital punishment.
I'm gonna say Sorry for the Wait, Wayne. Sorry for the Wait, Wayne. Black Album. And Slim Shady LP. Yeah. Those would be my 3.
The Eminem joint, yeah, that's a good one.
That's only
the first one.
That's his first joint. I mean, and again, that's not even like his best album to me, but that would be.
Indecisive ass nigga.
but that's just got that, like, I'm cancerous, so when I this, you wouldn't want to answer this. If you responded back with a battle rap, you wrote for cannabis.
Yeah.
I strangle you to death and I choke you again and break your fucking legs till your bones poke through your skin.
That's that shit.
Well, real quick, since you're doing Eminem, why do you think so many people, you know, I see this online all the time, and it's a lot. With
Ask me this question.
Why do you think so many people just like don't give M like his props that, you know?
I can tell you.
Why? Why is that when they say why? Because he's white? Because he's white and he doing it better than a lot of, you know.
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. All right. I've said it before on my platform, but I want to say it on your platform.
Right.
So you can get this. So Eminem, he's white, right?
Right.
We clearly, right?
Yeah.
When Eminem first came out, niggas rock with Eminem.
Definitely.
Yeah. Eminem first came out, niggas rock with him, right?
Right.
But when Eminem first came out, he was poor. So we weren't used to seeing that as
Right.
niggas. We weren't used to a poor white person.
From a trailer park.
Yeah, from Cherry Park.
Right.
Period. We related to that because our people come from the streets. Our people come from the hood. Come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Even if your people, you know, if your parents got money, whatever, you still got family that's from the hood.
Yeah,
if you
sure.
black,
Right.
So we relate to that. Comparing that to somebody like Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z, you know, he came up and got money. You know what I'm saying? Like he started street, but he eventually got money. We can respect Jay-Z getting money because it's a black man getting money, and that's showing us how to get money. Like we relate, like we're like it's inspiring.
Right.
But then when you see somebody that's white come from the streets and eventually get money, once Eminem got money, he just became another white person. Because we're used to white family.
Right.
When we weren't intrigued by him anymore.
So we basically, when he got the money, it was like, all right, is that
and then they start picking apart everything that he does. They're like, he's just, you know, lyrical, miracle, spiritual, like, all right, yeah, you know. But before that was okay.
Right.
Before that was fine when he was in the trailer park. But because now he's rich and you know, and he's dissing, you know, pop stars and
right.
you know, shit like that. People weren't really into that. So I feel like it really has to do with like his status changing. I mean, don't get it fucked up. Stylistically, as much as I respect Eminem and love Eminem as an artist or his music, when he puts out albums now, I'm gonna still listen to him, but I listen to him like once or twice.
No, yeah, they're not on the same level as they was when he was really doing this as, you know.
Because I feel like I'm part of the group of people who I'm talking about. People who don't really get fed from that shit. I'm not being fed. You know who raps similar to Eminem but still feeds me? Royce the 5'9".
Right.
See, Royce the 5'9", he's still very syllabic, you know what I mean, multi-syllable rhymes and a lot of that shit.
Black some shit.
But he's black, so he talks about black shit. He talks about the shit that we can relate to a little bit more. So as a 40-year-old black man, because I think I mentioned this before too, it's like when I was younger, you know, being from where I'm from, which is not far from this undisclosed location, being black, it wasn't like in my face so much because it's a very diverse area.
Right.
Like, for me, I grew up with all types of people.
Yeah.
All types of people. So when I was like younger in high school and Eminem was coming out and all that shit like that, like yeah, I mean, of course I always knew I was black, but I was around so many different people. But then when you get older and you start to like, you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get certain status, you know, you're trying to get, you know, you're trying to do certain things, you start realizing like, yo, I'm black.
It's a little different.
Yeah, I'm black. Like this shit, you start going through different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then being black matters to you a little bit more.
Right.
You know, as you get older as a black man. So hearing the perspective of a black man feeds me more than hearing the perspective of a white man. And I can't really fight that. As much as I do appreciate his contributions to hip hop, I think he's an incredible lyricist. His, you know, where he is right now and where I am right now, I'm not going to like listen to him the same way I'm listening to Royce or listening to Hove or, you know, other people from that same class.
Definitely.
So I just think that's what it is. But I mean, it's a shame though because people do try to write him off and like they don't remember.
Right.
They don't remember the other shit. Like my nigga, come on.
Like you don't remember? Well, I'm gonna bring this video because he had everybody quote.
Internet fucking clicks, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, but you heard what he said? He said it was a shot he threw at Game because Game was like, yo, we don't hear Eminem in the club. And he was like, He said the only reason they still play you in the club is because you still performing them. You know, I was like, damn.
Playing, you know.
Yeah.
He
still
he still get with people.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what Eminem does. It's
From the beginning.
He came from battling people, so it's never gonna leave him, and that's just what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say thank you for this. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. You know, we got kids, all this stuff. We live a real life, so thank you, man. More success to you and your podcast, your dope album. Keep rocking. Let everybody know where to follow you at, where to get the album at, and all that good stuff.
Alright, so the album is called 40 by Scoop, so you can find it on all platforms. My Instagram is Scoop the MC, so that's SCOOPTHEMC. It's on Instagram, you can Google that, find me wherever. The podcast is called Wash This Podcast. You can find that on Instagram and all platforms. We release an episode every week. So it's on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere else where you can find podcasts. And yeah, man, just look out for what I'm doing. I'm just trying to build myself up as an individual, you know, to be watched in any capacity. And I'm a dope ass rapper. So like, if you fuck with bars, like I'm saying, like you might get something from what I'm delivering.
Definitely. I appreciate it. Like I said, man, check my man out, man. Scoop, super dope. Let's go. Trust me, when you press play, you're gonna be like, okay, that's what he was really talking about. But we out of here, man. My man Six.
Shout out to the West Side of the Hamptons. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Yeah, we got some crowd members out here.
Yeah.
But we here, man. Hype City Show.
Shout out to Hype City, man. Jersey Gleason is big.